Hey everybody, Jeffrey Powers here with another YouTube tutorial. Today we're going to talk about audience retention. And not all your videos are going to get like everybody watching from the beginning to the end. So what you want to do is you want to figure out that one point where everybody's going, I think it's time to move on, and give them something to move on to. And YouTube has a bunch of stuff to do that with. And that's what we're going to talk about today. First of all, hey, welcome. You want to check anything out, go over to Geekazine.com. Think magazine, put in a geek. My Twitter handle, Geekazine, geekazine@gmail.com. You get the gist. The idea is to figure out how your videos are doing so you can push them to another video. Like, for instance, let's say you're talking about cellular phones or smartphones or something like that. And you decide, I would want them to go over to this other smartphone. But you don't know where to put it into the video because you don't know where they're going to, if they're going to watch the whole thing, if they're not going to watch the whole thing. And that's where all these stats come in. I mean, the analytics in YouTube is just amazing. You can use that to do anything and figure out your average watch times. Now, in the last year, I've actually retooled my watch times. I would come out with videos that would be up to an hour long. I had an hour-long show. So that would be out there. So now I've kind of changed that. Shows don't go more than 15 minutes. And that really depends on the content that I'm producing. I mean, if I'm producing a quick video on how the product of this remote control, that might only be a couple minutes, and I try to keep that within 3 to 5 minutes. But if I've got some how-tos, like how to use this remote control and get the best whatever out of it, then it's going to go longer than about 7 minutes. And it'll go up to maybe 20, 25 minutes. Even these videos right here are a perfect example, because the more content I have, the more I'll talk about it. And so it's important to know where your cutoff point is. And of course, in YouTube and what they call the millennial factor, or whatever you want to call it, it basically means people like the short bites. They do in most cases. A lot of cases, if you've got an hour-long video, short bites from that hour-long video, yes and no. It's more about the retention, especially on YouTube. And I can show you stats and figures. But the bottom line is, if you're very engaging, if people like you, then they're going to stick around and watch you. It's as simple as that. But you do want to check out your times. You want to know what your drop-off points are. And there's many different ideas, many different ways that you want to figure out your drop-off points, because there's different ways that people watch. They watch on the computer, they watch on their mobile, they watch on their TV, they watch through searches, they watch on Facebook, they watch on here, there, and everywhere. And you want to know where the times are, because if you want to target a video, let's say you're targeting a video on smartphones, and they're going to be watching it on smartphones to find out about it in the next smartphone in a lot of cases. So you want to target towards your smartphone market. If you're going to be talking about desktop builds or some gaming or something like that, you might want to think about, how the desktop viewer is going to handle this content. And of course, you can look at all your past videos individually or as a group, as a playlist, to figure out what are the best times. So that's what we're going to do here. So let's take a look. Let's get a little bit closer in on this. So what we've got here right now is we've got our traffic sources. And as you can see, we've got our YouTube search, anything that's been searched on YouTube, anything that's been suggested, the little off-the-side type suggestion when somebody's watching a video, external, direct or unknown, browse features, so on and so forth. Playlists, this is another good one. If you set a video up into multiple playlists, it's going to be played in a playlist if somebody's watching you in a playlist form. So here's the times. And as you can see, these times are pretty close together. But the average time, 3 minutes, 30 seconds. We'll say 4 minutes just to round it up. 4 minutes. But, suggested videos, I've had people do an average view duration of 5 minutes on that. That's pretty good. Average, which means that some people are watching 10 minutes, some people are watching 2 minutes. And the average is 5 minutes. Now, I know from this that at 5 minutes, 5 seconds, people are going to drop off. So before that 5 minutes, 5 seconds, usually about 30 seconds before, I want to put something like a card like an annotation saying, hey, you know, if you're getting bored here, go over here to this video. It might do you something better here. So, and I can go through this and I can look at this and I can say, okay, and this is where it's going. So I can also gear things towards the suggested videos because this is where I'm getting a lot of content from. A lot of people, 53,000 coming from search, 31,000 coming from suggested videos. How do I, you know, I got to figure out ways to gear towards that. Now, these are just traffic sources. There's other ways to check on it, and one of them that I always like to check is the devices. You never know how things are going to change. You never know where they're watching from, except through here. And this is going to tell you, I mean, look at this. I mean, from the computer, I get 65,000 views. From a mobile phone, I get 27,000 views. Half of the views from a desktop. Because a lot of times I give you content that you pretty much sit down and watch. You're watching from your desktop. If I was doing little comedic shorts and stuff like that, I bet you the mobile phone would be completely, and the tablet would be completely different from here. But you gotta also remember, it's mobile phone and tablet and unknown. And then of course we have TV, we have game console here. So we've got some factors here that add to it. So basically that kind of matches to the computer numbers. So we'll have computer and we'll have mobile, but you know, computer's still major here. We look at the times, and once again, we're seeing about 3.5 to 4 minutes for watching a video. So that's going to tell me if I do something about mobile phones, I'll have it 4 to 5 minutes, no longer than that. If I have something on computer, I might be able to go a little bit longer, 7 to 8 minutes, because they're sitting down. If I have something on TV, I can go, you know, pretty much same thing, 7 to 10 minutes, and go from there. It's pretty cool. Also, the game console, and of course, these game consoles. We're going to dig deeper into the game console here, as you can see, and of course, it's got these pretty lines right here, and you can stretch them out. There's a certain point where it won't let you collect data, but you know, worry about the current quarter. And of course, if it's a new quarter, worry about the previous quarter. That should be your range, because as things change, as technology changes, there's a new Apple TV coming out, there's a new iPhone coming out, there's a new Samsung coming out, there's a new this, that, or the other thing coming out. That's going to change the game. Watching the current quarter is going to give you the best results. And it's going to give you more than 30 days of data. I think it's 90 days of straight up data of people watching you, and that's the important thing. And you can figure out your drop-off time. So if you do have a video that goes longer than 5 minutes, you want to give them something to go to instead of just going, you know, let's just hit the back button and see what else is out there. And even if it's not your own content, that helps because it keeps people interested in your content. If they hit the back button, it's like them coming into a convenience store, browsing around. You're the guy that goes, hi, can I help you? And you're going, oh, I don't want this guy right now. And then you kind of go, okay, I'm just looking around. Well, if you need anything, let me know. And then you go, okay, well, whatever. And then you walk around the store, and then you go, I'm not going to buy anything here. And then you're out. The videos, it's kind of like you walk into the store, and it's like, hey, you know, I'm here, but, you know, I'm not going to bother you. So go shop, do what you need to do. If you have any questions, I'm here. And then even if you don't buy anything, it's like, I'm still going to come back to the store. Simple as that. So, but that's the idea here. So at this about the 4 or 5 minute mark, that's where I'm going to come into my, you know, if you need anything, just let me know. I'm here. I'm just behind the counter, reading a comic book, you know, enjoying a hoagie, having a soda, something like that. So, and then of course, if you want to drill down, if you want to gear towards the Xbox audience, then you know that I know that 5:49 minute mark is where I want to go. Let's drill it down a little bit more. I know that the majority of people will come from the United States and the United Kingdom. So if I'm doing Xbox stuff, you know, maybe I should gear towards a little bit more of the United Kingdom to bring up these numbers. I mean, it's only 31, but if I can triple this number, why not? You know, bring more viewers. Canada, only 9. As you go out of inside the United States, that's what happens, is everything drops off. Of course, if you're not in the United States, let's say you're in the UK, I bet you these numbers are reversed because there is the commonality of you living in that country. So And of course, you can drill it down even more. I can find out that the majority of people watch from California, and I can drill it down even more through dates and stuff like that. But once again, it's all about, do we see the watch times? And if I really need to get an exact number on watch time, so I can put up an annotation, so I can put up a card saying, hey, here's another video you should watch, then I can go from there. But keep an eye on this. And this is, I just did a general setup of my YouTube videos. You can go into a specific video, you can go into a playlist, and you can go into more and just figure out what is the information, who is watching, when they're watching, and how can I counter that, and how can I keep them on my channel? Because if they watch a second video from you that you've suggested, chances are they're going to subscribe to you. Chances are they're going to like the video. If they walk out the store, they're not going to like, and they're not going to subscribe, and that's the key right there. So, so watching these devices, and you don't have to watch them regularly. You don't have to go on every day and say, oh, this number went up, this number went down. Give it a quarterly. You know, every 90 days, go in here and check it all out. Check out your sources. Check out the devices. Check out this third one, audience retention. And because this is the key right here, because it's going to go through each individual video. Like this, I had the Netflix, Amazon, or Hulu, which is one of my top videos. Most people average watch 6 minutes, 28 seconds. Percentage viewed, 44%. Now, I'm not sure if that's they watch 6 minutes, 28 seconds, or they decide to jump forward a little bit and watch a little bit, because basically I have a little section for Netflix, a little section for Amazon, a little section for Hulu, and go from there. HP Storage Tech Day was a video I did a few years ago. This is about 3 hours, 35 minutes. The average duration was 18 minutes, 29%. So it's an 8.6. But it's about the specific content. And if somebody, here's another thing, if somebody shares this content at a certain point, because I'll get this every now and then, I'll get somebody comment saying, start from the so on and so forth point, so where the meat of the information is. And that's all well and good. Hey, you want to start there? That's fine. But that doesn't mean that you're starting at the beginning, which means that your retention is a little bit different. It's a shifted retention. And keep those in mind. If anybody comments, says, watch here, you know, A, look at what happens before that, and B, go with it and see how people watch, and maybe even share it that way. And figure out, you know, maybe if you have to have a intro bumper, what's called a tip and a tail, if you have to have a long tip, then you say, meet starts at 1 minute, 38 seconds. And go from there. And share it. I mean, this whole idea in YouTube with each video, you can share at a specific time point, so you can so they can start watching at 1 minute 38 seconds and go from there. So these are great ways for you to realize who's watching, where they're watching from, and how they're watching from, and when they're dropping off, so you can give them more content. You can guide them into another video of yours or friends and gain more subscribers, gain more likes, because they know you know where they are and what they're doing and how they're stopping and so on and so forth. So that's basically it in this tutorial. Just every 90 days, check out your sources, check out the devices is the big key. You know, this might change. You know, we might have a new item in 6 months, smartwatch, for example. It's not in here. It's probably under the unknown, but it's not a mobile phone. It's not a tablet. If people are starting to watch on their watch, then you're going to start to see that here. So you want to kind of gear towards a watch. Because, well, this video, well, if somebody watched this on a watch, oh man, they won't be able to see a thing, because these numbers will be way too small. So anyway, I'm going to the 15-minute mark. I'm going to stop right there. But that is basically it. Check your devices. Make sure your retention is there. If you've got retention, you understand how to create your tips and your tails. You understand how to curate people to another area so they stay on your channel and they subscribe you and like it. Simple as that. Thanks a lot for watching. You can check me out over at Geekazine.com. Twitter me over at Geekazine. Of course, Geekazine@gmail.com. Think magazine, put in a geek. and we'll see you next time for another YouTube tutorial. Take care.